guys, a little shuffling the times, but I'm here. And I'll tell you what, it's not any easier today than it was yesterday to talk about these Mountaineers. But I love the Price is Right. I love the Mountaineers. And just because you might not win, the mountain climber game, that first game, you can still win the Showcase Showdown, right? Still got to spin the wheel. So spin the wheel in 2 weeks against Pitt, and then hopefully win some games, get to the Showcase Showdown, which would be the Big 12. But we're going to beat that dead horse for at least another 20 minutes and talk about Neil Brown. Neil Brown shaved his goatee. Is that a sign of he doesn't have the swagger he had? A little going back to the more logical Neil Brown. Neil Brown doesn't take many risks. Won't be going on fourth down. Don't know. It's like you have two versions of Neil Brown. You got the goatee Neil Brown, and then you got the second half of the 2023 season Neil Brown. So, he said they played real poorly, and it's a big stage. He was aware of it, but that doesn't mean it makes us feel any better. Man, that press conference was a doozy. But if they had the jitters before, ladies and gentlemen, they will definitely have the jitters now after that. I wouldn't even want to call it a hiccup. It was a choke. But here's Pat McAfee mentioned on his show the break. The break for the weather delay. And that would be a valid point if they would not have scored, they being the Nittany Lions with 6 seconds left in the half. Okay. That changed everything. So, but, the Mountaineers didn't play well enough to even beat probably Albany. There's nobody on their schedule they probably could have beat with the way they played. So if you're going to lay an egg, at least it's not a conference game, right? But the biggest head scratcher for me, was Mountaineers have talented, athletic, big guys that weren't playing at pad level, weren't doing it. Don't know what the fix is for that. I'm not a ball coach, but I did see that. And the other takeaway, the big disappointment was Gigi. Guys, Garrett Greene, here are the numbers: 11 for 28 for 161 yards. That's what you see in a small school in Western Pennsylvania for high school. That's a good night. But he had 10 carries for 5 yards. That is terrible with a capital T. It'd be different if he was, accurate and poised in the pocket, but that wasn't the case. So, and those were the talking points for Neil Brown during the season, that he had gained that when he went to the Eli Manning or that Manning passing camp. So did not see that. So I guess the big noon kickoff was a big noon choke. So, I like his moxie. I think he's a great ball player. I think he's going to do better. There's nowhere to go but up. So, Mountaineer fans, sky's the limit. I mean, there is a glass ceiling. This is not the 2005, 2017, not even in that ilk, not at all. But I will tell you this. Last year, I had little or no hope, especially after the Houston loss. I was flatline. Could give two shits. I still have some hope. I still have some belief that the Mountaineers will get to a bowl game, compete for a conference championship. But Greene can't continue to misfire on passes, and I don't know if the wide receiver room didn't run routes correctly. I'm not a ball coach, but there's there's disconnect, and it needs to be fixed. Preston Fox didn't really stand out. Cole Taylor, Jaden Bray, was that Justin Robinson's the other guy? None of them really popped off on when I watched it again. I didn't see anything that would make me want to just scream from the mountaintops, especially with the yodeler going up the mountain. They are a veteran group of players, so they should be able to brush this off and move forward. But if they come out cold against Albany, look for a tough game against Pitt, guys. The struggles will continue. In order for this season to be successful, they need to score 30, 40 points against Albany. Get the wheels back on track. That, and then the defense. Okay. Nicholas Singleton broke a big 40-yard touchdown run, and that was it for the Mountaineers. I guess Aubrey Brooks is in a new position. Josiah Trotter is also, he was out because of injuries, but he's very athletic. I thought the linebackers would be a strength. They haven't shown that yet. But a big slice of humble pie with whipped cream is what the Mountaineers had Saturday afternoon. So, FCS opponent, Pitt's lost to an FCS opponent. Other teams have lost to FCS opponents. I don't want to start that trend in Morgantown. I don't want to see that. So, everybody needs to row in the same direction, guys. Very excited. I didn't think Pitt had a snowball's chance in hell until I saw the game last Saturday. So that will be definitely must-watch TV, the Backyard Brawl. I'm not going to go to Pittsburgh, even though it's just a stone's throw away from me. Not a big fan of Acrisure Stadium. Whether it's Heinz Field, Acrisure, you could call it, anything you want, and it doesn't feel like a college football stadium to me. Okay, that's unfortunate, but I do want to mention Florida State is 0-2. Wow, big wow. So Georgia Tech and Boston College beat Florida State. Clemson lost. We expected that loss, but not quite to the level that 34-3. So as far as conference realignment goes, you have two teams in the ACC that are trying to get out of the ACC because they feel that their product, their brand, is bigger than the ACC. That looks like they're too big for their britches. They have penthouse dreams and outhouse budgets. Definitely not good for those brands losing those games or not even being competitive for Clemson, if it was a touchdown or two competing against a very, very, very good Georgia team. Now, let's talk about Penn State. That's all they're talking about. Penn State did not move up any in the polls, guys. They stayed solidly at number 9. It's too early to tell, but we will soon find out exactly how good. We might look back as fans and be like, oh my gosh, they're 10-0, 9-0. Mountaineers aren't as bad as we thought they were. If the Mountaineers turn the corner and win a few games, if the Mountaineers are sitting at 8-2 or 7-3, it won't look as bad if Penn State, is a top 5 team, which they might damn well be a top 5 team. Franklin might have himself a team that can make a run in the playoffs. So it is a Tuesday night. We have 1 week, or just a few days away from Mountaineers playing another home game at 6 against Albany. Very excited. Don't know what to make of it. There's Daredevil. Tim Greene, like the thumb. Daredevil, I'll be on there. I changed my schedule up so I could. I don't have a lot of people watching now because I changed the schedule. I will go on the Voice of College Football at 9:45. 8 o'clock, I have my first ever fantasy draft. I've never done a fantasy draft, and I think this will be the last one, but I'm doing it. I was asked to do it, so I'm going to go on there and randomly pick some NFL players that I could, see. College football is where it's at. Daredevil, are you a USC fan? Because USC is balling out. USC is balling out. They might be legit this year. I'm very excited to see what happens with the new conference, the Big Ten. Also, what's going to happen with the Big 12? BYU. Let's talk BYU for just a second. I thought the Mountaineers would have 68, 65. No, they had 62,000 people at the opener against Penn State. I don't even think that makes the top 15 for attendance at a Mountaineer game. Miami 93 is the GOAT. I was there. But BYU, yeah, Daredevil should start watching college ball. It's a quality product. I can't sing its praises enough. Even though there's NIL money, there's a story, Daredevil, where a young man, can't remember the program, I think it was Oklahoma, gave his NIL, $50,000 of his NIL to walk-ons to help them. That's the type of stories I want to see, guys. That's what I want to see. Miami. Joey and I were talking about Miami. Miami looks like they're going to be in the pole position in the ACC. There might be a hiccup or two, but with Florida State losing to Boston College and to Georgia Tech, even if they win out, it's going to be they're not going to win the conference. Very, very unlikely. I would have to say that, the U is back. That brand, buy. If I were a conference commissioner, that would be a brand I'd want in my stable. Louisville, another brand I want if I'm the Big 12 commish. But Boston College and Georgia Tech made a case that the ACC is competitive and not as bad as we thought they were. Not this week, but next week. Joe Hartz, Pitt alum, was on the show before. Really good guy, level-headed, not a crazy Pitt fan, but a Pitt fan. He's going to be coming on the show, and we're going to be talking about the Pitt Panthers next Tuesday on this show. If the schedule dictates, we might move it a day ahead or maybe move it to Thursday. But we're going to have Joe Hartz, who's a Pitt alum. Great guy. We had him on. Lots of fun. If you have any suggestions, if you want to be part of the West Virginia Mountaineer Mafia, hit like, hit subscribe, share with a friend. And I will catch you guys later tonight on the Voice of College Football West Virginia channel. So have a great evening, and let's go Mountaineers.